Hello everyone. I hope so you will be fine. My name is Dr. Abid and I welcome to all of you in GSC Score. You know that GSC Score has started a wonderful series regarding the serious UPSC aspirant. And now this is our the foremost important duty to understand and provide to you the basic structure of the question. In this series, you will find that you can easily understand the concept behind the question, because in every class we are decoding the question, we are breakdowning the question, and we are finding the concept behind the question. And I'm telling you the best way to write the answer and how to get the maximum marks in just a few minutes, and how to choose the wisely important words for your answer. Today we have a very special topic regarding the water conservation and water security from the GS paper 3rd, environment and ecology. I will show you the question. This is the question from the 2019. I think 2019 or 2018. What are the impediments disposing the huge quantities of discarded solid waste which are continuously being generated? How do we remove safely the toxic waste that have been accumulated in habitable environment? You know that. You can easily understand that question has two phases or two parts. The first part of the question is saying impediments disposing the huge quantity of discarded solid waste which are continuously being generated. Number one part. In the second part, how do we remove safely the toxic waste that have been accumulated in our habitable environment. And this is one of the most important questions. This is the challenge to understand, and this is based on the basic understanding. If you are continuously reading the newspaper, definitely you can write the article and you can write the answer. Let's find out the concept. This is the question. First of all, this question is based off analytical thinking. Why? Because you have to give the solution or suggestions, because the question is based on problem, analytical and problem solution based, and basically they have two generally parts. First, challenge in solid waste disposal, methods of safe removal of toxic waste. You know that. The core of the question is that. Analytical and problem solution based, and this is the current phase of the question. Now you will notice that each and every question have a similar phase, analytical and the problem solution based. Now let's look the slide. Number one, solid waste management. You know that this is the major problem of every city. Getting my points? Collection, transportation, treatment, disposal, MC, municipality, industrial e-waste, etc. And the governed in India by the solid waste management rules 2016. So you will find out there, whenever you will talk about the solid waste management, so transportation, treatment and disposal, बहुत important words हैं, you have to write. Next one, core issues and impediments, infrastructure gaps. Each and every cities have the same problems. Lack of sanitary landfills, composting units. Delhi has 3 landfill sites. Balaswa, Gazipur and Okhla. You will find out what is happening over there. And the number of cities nahi hai unke paas, bhai. Unsegregated waste. Only 30% waste is scientifically proceed. Informal sector dominance, public awareness deficits, urbanization process, policy enforcements. So you will find out there, these all are the causes of the solid waste management. Next one, toxic waste. Dekho, what are the toxic waste? E-waste, biomedical waste, hazardous industrial waste, chemical residue. Okay? So basically, you have to understand what are the toxic waste and what are their impacts. So यहाँ पर देखो air, soil, water, ये सारे के सारे toxic waste effects हैं, इसके effects हैं on air, water and soil. So now you will find out their concept and strategies. Definitely we have to use the scientific disposal and ठीक है, EPR, producers accountable for waste collection, recycling, waste to energy, bioremediation and phytoremediation, public-private partnership, international protocols. Means these all are the concept and strategies. Means you have to add each and every strategies from the schemes, programs and summit or treaty. National level, state level and district level and global efforts. Add each and every points, because you have to remove the e-waste, one of the most important problems. And biomedical waste, hazardous industrial waste, these all are the serious threat to our environment, which we have to discuss. The last one, ethical and environmental angles, means you know that whenever we talk about the ethical and environmental angle, likho bhai, sabki zimmedari likho, sabki responsibility likho, there is no doubt. Intergenerational equity, environmental justice, right to clean environment, these all are the important words. You know that during my classes I generally focus on the article 21, article 48, right to clean environment, and what are the important things mentioned in our constitutions, है ना, ये सारी चीजें हमने डिस्कस की है. Now let's move toward the model answer. You will find out that these all are the basic concept and strategies behind the question. These are the basic understanding which you have to understand. ये पता भी होना चाहिए आपको. Getting my points? Now let's move toward the model answer. देखो, this is the introduction, just in 3.5 lines. I write, ठीक है? Yeah, I wrote, solid and toxic waste management has emerged as a critical environmental and public issues. First of all, in first line I mentioned why is in news. With rapid urbanization, industrialization and changing consumption pattern, the volume of complexity of waste, both solid and hazardous, have increased manifolds. In the last one, I find the causes. In the third line, have increased. However, the existing waste management infrastructure is unable to cope with this surge. Getting my points? So it is happening that 3.5 lines are the important things which I concluded my introductions. So then first I mentioned why, second I mentioned the causes, and last one, however the existing waste management infrastructure is unable to cope with the surge. In the third line I mentioned the loopholes. Now let's move toward the man body. This is the man body. You know that you will find out there impediment in disposing solid waste management. I mentioned the number of unimportant things: inadequate infrastructure, weak institutional framework, limited public awareness, financial constraint, unscientific disposal and practices, technology gaps. You will find out there I mentioned the most important words, and in subheading you will find out there I mentioned inadequate infrastructure. So you find out there lack of segregation at sources, insufficient waste collection and transportation. This is the better way to get the maximum marks, because you have a main heading and another you have a 2 subheadings. ये सब important हो जाता है. Institutional framework, overlapping jurisdiction, limited public awareness, financial constraint, ये बहुत जरूरी है. That's why we have to talk about the public awareness and we have to educate the people also. ये सारी चीजें हमें इसमें ऐड कर देनी है. Next one, safe removal of toxic waste from the habitable environment, and I mentioned the most important thing. The first is strict regulatory oversight, identification of inventory, adaptation of scientific methods, extended producer responsibility, public-private partnership, community engagement and risk communication. So each and every, the first of all line you will find regulatory oversight. So I mentioned 2016 rules, solid waste management. Identification and inventory, adaptation of scientific method, and each and every line presenting their strength and values. So that's why you have to select the words carefully, and that's why तभी तो आप अच्छे words, अच्छे marks को get करोगे, because you have written the best answer, because you wisely choose the best words. That's a simple thing. Next, now let's move toward the conclusion. What are the best conclusion? Because you will find out there almost 5 lines. So in 5 lines, just we have to find what are the best lines I used in my conclusion. India's growing waste challenge is not merely a technical issue but a systematic one. Look, this is not the technical issue, this is a systematic one. It requires a holistic and integrated approach. Holistic, this is the solution. Holistic and integrated approach involving infrastructure development, regulatory framework, technological innovation, behavioral changes. In the third line, sustainable waste management is essential not only for environment protection but also public health and achievements of sustainable development goal. I discussed the sustainable development goal 11 in my conclusion. Okay, and sustainable development goal 12, responsible consumption and productions. You will find out there in the introduction I mentioned the solutions and mentions the importance. I also mentioned the global frameworks. So this is the conclusion, because this whole question is a problem solution based, analytical based questions which you have to provide the best way or better way. Now let's move toward thank you. So this is the enough from this side. We discuss the best way regarding the solid waste management, toxic waste, and the government and regulatory things in these questions. This is the most beautiful questions from the UPSC main side, and we discuss thoroughly through different approaches. So this is enough from this side. See you soon with new topics, with new approach or methods. Please share, like and comment. Take care. See you soon.